Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about the attempt by the media to manufacture JuJu Watkins into a superstar. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video. So, Rob, Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-lifetime generational superstar, and not just in talent, but more importantly, in terms of being an exciting player and in terms of getting people to watch her and follow her. Mm-hmm. In other words, she's the most popular athlete in the country right now, and soon, maybe at some point, in the world. And that really bothers some people. And they think it's just by promoting someone else who's also a great player, they'll replace her. And that's just not going to happen. Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-lifetime type of exciting player. And they can't accept that's the reason she's popular. And that's really what all this amounts to. It bothers them that a white player in a black-dominated league, and also in college at the time, is the face of those, face of college when she was there, and now the face of the WNBA, and it bothers her, and they want to replace her with a black player. And that's all this is. That's poor JuJu.
No, I mean, yes, Mark. I mean, it's like we already know that JuJu Watkins is going to be a phenomenal player. That's already a given. But it seems like ever since Caitlin Clark came on the scene, even during freshman year, they didn't want to give her props, But then when she proves them all wrong, and she's still going to prove them wrong, and she's going to be proving them wrong all through her career, even after that she's as a young kids say, she's it. She is it. So now they seem to be like, okay, well, we need somebody we don't really want to make her that. I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for. What are they looking for?
Well, they think it's easy just to replace Caitlin Clark when she's a generational player and a generational draw. That's the most important thing. I'm not sure she's going to be the greatest player in women's basketball history, but to me, it looks like she's going to be. I'm not sure she's going to be better than JuJu Watkins or Paige or whatever, but it looks like she's going to be. But that's not really the issue. The issue is anyone as exciting as her? Is anyone as big as draw as her? I'm sure they're not going to be as big as draw as her. Otherwise, they would be right now. Caitlin Clark was a big draw as a freshman. She was the most exciting player in the country as a freshman. That's how I found out about her. And she was drawing fans very early on in Iowa. And then by the time she was a junior, she sold out in a preseason game like 55,000 people.
Right.
JuJu Watkins is never going to do that, and neither is Paige.
Yeah, I mean, the only player that really kind of excites me right now in college basketball is Hannah Hidalgo. She's got that kind of like spark. But I mean, like you said, JuJu Watkins, yeah, they watched that. They came to the game to watch JuJu Watkins when they played Notre Dame and walked out going, whoa, who's that Hidalgo woman? Wow, she's fantastic. So right there, it was a show, what's going on.
They're calling her the best player in college basketball and the face of women's basketball when, one, she's not the best player, Paige Beckers is, and two, she's not the most exciting, Hannah Hidalgo is. So she's neither, and they're trying to make her both, and they're trying to force her down our throats. And they did a video on this, Rob, and I think you watched it. It said, why can't JuJu move the needle like Caitlin Clark? And the woman came up with some reasons, and they were false reasons. The first thing that she said was that, well, she had an antagonist, which obviously, as we all know, is Angel Reese, but she was popular before the finals of that game. In fact, the reason she was popular, Rob, was the 2 games before that, where she dropped 40 points twice and had a triple-double the first time and basically single-handedly beat Louisville and then undefeated South Carolina. And that's why she was so popular. It wasn't because she had that antagonist from Angel Reese. I didn't even know who Angel Reese was going into that game, and neither did most people.
I didn't know. And Mark, and yeah, I mean, so what they're saying is that Clark wasn't really noticed until Angel Reese did. Like, no, Angel Reese did not bring her up. It's not like this isn't this isn't a novel or a fiction or nonfiction book where you always have to have the antagonist to build up the character. She was already the main character already. She didn't need anybody from the outside to help to build her up.
She had such a great game in the Elite Eight that her Final Four rating was really high going into the finals. And then they had 9.9 million because people wanted to see Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese. I didn't hear any talk about Angel Reese, even on ESPN at the time, about why people were going to watch that. So Angel Reese made a name for herself. She didn't make Caitlin Clark popular. She was already popular. And the next year, Rob, even though, yes, when she played Angel Reese, the ratings were high, they were even higher when she played in the next game against Paige Beckers and UConn, and then even higher, went through the roof in the finals again. Angel Reese had nothing to do with that. There was no antagonist. There was no rival. There was never a rivalry to begin with. Caitlin Clark was clearly better than her at all times, both at the WNBA level and in college. But they're making it seem like, oh, Angel Reese kind of like made her popular. No. Caitlin Clark was already popular.
No. Like with this, but poor JuJu Watkins, she probably just wants to play basketball, and they're trying to push her up. It's like a movie like this. I've seen in movies where they have this kind of average person, and they want to build them up to make them like this movie star. I mean, she's already a star. She's gonna be a great WNBA player. But now they're trying to put her into like, okay, we got you as a star. We want to push you in front of Caitlin Clark to like push her. Like they want to push Caitlin Clark aside.
Right. I'm going to state this, but anybody who's over the age of say 12 or 15 knows this. You can't manufacture a star. You can have some success for a short amount of time in the entertainment industry, like in music. But once people figure out whether or not they have talent, they have a very short career. Exactly. Same thing with movie stars and TV stars. If people tune in and they try to manufacture a star and they don't have the draw, they don't have the it factor, they become stars very short time. Same thing in sports. Sports even more important. If you don't have the accomplishments, if you're not an exciting person and you're not talented and successful on the court or on the field, it's not going to work. It's going to go out the window very quickly. People will be turned off. In fact, if I was watching JuJu Watkins for the first time, which I didn't, I actually watched her last year a couple of times against Notre Dame, I would have been totally turned off because she wasn't very exciting and she wasn't very good in that game. Now I know she is, but this year she's actually off to a slow start. Again, she's not even the best player in the country or the most exciting player in her class, let alone in the country.
Caitlin Clark brought in, even like I said, I have young men who, if I mention the name, like, oh yeah, I know Caitlin Clark, and they don't even watch. They hate women's basketball, but they know her name, and they don't even watch women's basketball. She's brought in people who've never, like I said, like you said, Mark, they watched her play, and so she drew them in like, whoa, who's this player? Look at that pass! Wow, look at that Logos 3-pointer! Wow, she's really exciting.
She is, and it just, she has more to it than that, Rob. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the person in the video, the woman, she also said one of the reasons Caitlin Clark became so popular is because everything lined up perfectly to be this all-American superstar. Not true at all. Yeah. If it was perfectly, she would have gone to UConn, who gets the most publicity by a large margin, and she would have won a championship her junior year as opposed to losing in the finals. So it didn't line up perfectly. So that's not even true. Going to Iowa made it harder for her to be a star. They didn't get any publicity until Caitlin Clark got there.
Oh, so yeah, so everything was all perfectly lined up for her, which is not true. Like you said, I mean, she went to Iowa and she built up. I mean, Iowa was already a very good basketball school, but she made it take off. When she went there. Unfortunately, she didn't go to Connecticut, like you said, but she might not have even been that popular the way Gino coaches his players. Not to be that person, makes it like a team thing, which is kind of a good concept. You don't have that one, even with Paige Beckers, he still like doesn't really say, "Hey, she's the star. She's going to dominate everything." Right. So it's only one thing I really like about him, Gino. But besides that, that's it.
And I'm not trying to bring race into that, but the persons that put out those videos were both black, a black female and a black male. And then someone did one debunked about whether JuJu can move the needle. And it was a black male. And he came in and he said he debunked it, which he didn't. He said JuJu has an end time, which is true. But Caitlin Clark was more popular as a freshman in terms of already getting fans covering her in her TV viewership. Now, he said one of the points that is that Caitlin Clark style of play is what makes her exciting. And he said, "Oh, I don't buy that. I think JuJu Watkins' style of play is just as exciting." Well, he may think that, although I don't believe it, but that's not what 99% of the people believe. That's why Caitlin Clark has more viewers. And then he said, someone made some comments to him, like Caitlin Clark has the it factor. And he goes, "Oh, I think JuJu has the it factor." Okay, well, it doesn't matter whether you think. I'm just saying Caitlin Clark does have the it factor, and Paige and JuJu do not. And they have a small it factor, but nowhere near the it factor that Caitlin Clark has. And that's why she's popular. And that's what they can't accept. She has the it factor. It's very rare. She has the Michael Jordan it factor, Rob. That doesn't come around very often.
I don't know what they're, I mean, to me, I don't know what they're, I think I said this in previous videos. I don't know what they're afraid of. The players, ex-players, people in the media, what are they afraid of with her to let her be the factor, what she is? She's a phenomenal factor in sports. She's the most popular person in sports, bar none, besides Messi. So why don't you just go with the flow? What is the big thing about that? I don't understand it.
I don't know, Rob. They're determined not to have a white player be the face of basketball. And you know what? You can't stop it. It's going to happen. And it's not. And unlike what Lindsay Schnell said, it's not important that a black person is the face of basketball all the time. It's going to be most of the time because that's where most of the best players are. In fact, let's be quite honest about most of the most exciting basketball players are black, and they have been for 50 years. So why is it bothering you so much that one player who's white happens to be the best player and the most exciting? She was the best player in college. She will be the best player in the WNBA, I think, by next year. Some people think she is already. I don't agree. But why does it bother him so much that for a few years, someone besides a black person or a person of color is the face of the league or the best player? It's not going to happen 100% of the time unless the league is 100% black or 100% non-white.
And that's you left out straight.
I mean, I don't care for my person's sexuality.
No, but that factors in.
That
also factors in too.
I know it is. It's another factor. But this is more have to do with race, I think. But I think the sexuality is part of it too. So Paige goes and plays in, I guess, Puerto Rico, and 567 fans showed up. Okay, obviously she's not the Caitlin Clark fan. You think Caitlin Clark went to play in Puerto Rico? There was 567 fans? No. And then in the game against Notre Dame at USC, they didn't even sell out. And it was 7,800, and it holds 10,300. And that was like the biggest game of the year. The biggest matchup of the two best guards, or at least in that USC and Notre Dame.
Right.
And they couldn't, and she couldn't. And their excuse was, well, Iowa's a big basketball state. You don't think LA is a big basketball city? I mean, it's a huge city because of the Lakers. Are you kidding me? And it's a big sports town too. And USC has a good tradition with Cheryl Miller and everything else. So quit using those as excuses. It's only one reason why Caitlin Clark is the face of women's basketball, and that's because she's very exciting. That's not the only reason. She's actually a great player too, but that's the main reason. And you can't force that on people to think they're exciting if they don't think they're exciting. And that's what they're trying to do with JuJu, and I feel sorry for her.
You can't. Yeah, me too. You can't force it. You can't force people like they say with the fans. You can't force us, like they were saying, us Clark fans. You can't force us to, like the Minnesota Link coach, to like you. I don't like. I mean, I don't have to root for you just because you won your little championship. I don't have to like you now. I mean, this is who we like. So to try to switch people over and say, hey, here's this person over here. Don't worry about that one over there. Yeah, she's fine, but here we have this new and improved product here. Here we go. Look at this. This is great. No, I don't want that product. I mean, she's going to be. I like it. I'll probably will eat it, but I want to eat this product.
If an athlete is an exciting performer, you don't need to promote them at all.
Right.
People will find out easily because so much sports is televised now. So you don't need to promote her at all. If JuJu turns into I don't think she's a very exciting player. I think she's an exciting player, but she's not a very exciting player. But if her game changes and she becomes a very exciting player, guess what? People will tune in more. Same thing with Paige. I understand from seeing highlights that Paige was a little flashier in high school and she was a more exciting player before she started playing for Gino. If she gets in the WNBA away from Gino and becomes flashier and more exciting, guess what? People will tune in to see her. Right. She's a great player. Yeah. That'll happen, but it'll happen because people find them exciting. You can't tell people someone's exciting. People determine that. They don't think that the fans determine who the face of the league is, Rob.
Right, exactly. And now with social media, the word gets out so quickly, like, hey, you see this player, Caitlin Clark? You see this fantastic pass he made behind the back, bounce pass? People are like, oh, really? I mean, it's only a 20-second thing on social media, but people are like, whoa, look at that. Hey, have you seen this? So along with people turning in and going to the stadiums, social media shows what she's doing.
Right. And Rob, on that Carmelo Anthony video that I talked about with Monica McCrazy, which I call her, they also, I didn't bring this up in the video that we did about it yesterday. They also said that JuJu Watkins is Michael Jordan. And they said that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, which isn't even true because Angel Reese isn't good enough for that comparison.
No, she's not.
And I said she's Michael Jordan. By saying that, Rob, they're implying she's the best and the most exciting because that's what Michael Jordan was. With all due respect to Dr. J and Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, the reason Michael Jordan is so popular and was the number one athlete in the world for like 30 years was because he was the best and the most exciting. Okay? JuJu Watkins isn't either. So why are they calling her Michael Jordan? She's not even the best one in her class right now or the most exciting one in her class. And that's as a sophomore, let alone in the whole of all the women in college basketball, which is Paige right now. And she's not the most exciting in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark is 2 to 3 times more exciting than her. It's not even close.
Now they go with the labeling like we talked about in another video, Mark. They already labeled her as equivalent to Michael Jordan. It's like they try to do that with Anthony Edwards, when he last year in the playoffs. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. No. He's flat out said, no, not even close.
And I think this is getting to her. She's off to a slow start, Rob. And I think she's a super talent. And she seems like a nice young lady. So just let her play and quit trying to turn her into something that she's not quite ready to be yet. Again, she may go down as the greatest player ever, but she's not going to be the most exciting player ever. That's Caitlin Clark, and just accept it. It's just the way it is. I mean, the difference between Caitlin Clark's popular and everybody else's is so great, it's not even funny. Okay, Asia Wilson can't accept that, and it bothers her.
None of the WNBA players can play. That's why she, like I said, that's why the 3-on-3 league, women's 3-on-3 league, wanted her to be in there and offered her this boatload of money. Why do you think they did that? Not to other like the Asia Wilson.
I can't figure out why, Rob. It's because TNT was putting pressure on him. You want some real money from us? Sign Caitlin Clark. I got to maintain that in another video that there must be like 2 different fees that they're going to get from TNT based upon whether Caitlin Clark plays or not. I'm sure that's part of the contract that they signed. Or maybe the contract's not even signed. It's like waiting to see if Caitlin Clark was going to play, which turns out she's not.
It's sitting there, Mark. It's sitting there. All they're going to have to do is just shove that paper in her face. They're like drooling. They're trying not to make the mistake that NBC did. That didn't push They didn't push the Olympic Committee enough to get her on the team. But that's what TNT is trying to do.
And what's interesting about this is the person also said that Caitlin Clark became popular because she had all these crazy shots on SportsCenter. SportsCenter barely promotes Caitlin Clark, and then neither does the WNBA, and she's still really popular. They didn't even put her on the Olympic team, which would have made her even more popular, and she's still really popular. So she's actually being held back by some of the media, and she's still becoming really popular. That just tells you that she's different.
She's being held back by her own league, by her own WNBA, who never even promoted her. Even like we said, they didn't have to really promote just her single. Just promote the league itself. Have a little blurb of Wilson, Collier, and put in Caitlin. They were afraid to put in Caitlin Clark highlight or video to promote their league. They were so afraid to do that because it might cause friction within the play. Who cares? If I'm marketing, I don't really care about you if they don't like it. I'm trying to promote my league and make money. That's the bottom line.
Facts don't care about your feelings, Rob. That's what I'm told.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I just wish they would just chill on this because it's nonstop now, and it's not going to end. It might never end, Rob, until someone replaces Caitlin Clark. It might never end. They just might always try to promote somebody.
Well, they'll try to put someone put her up, someone else there, and then they'll probably say compared to Kate, and they're going to start doing compared to Caitlin Clark, and compared to Caitlin Clark. That's what it's going to start being pretty soon.
Well, let us know what you think down below. This is like out of control crazy, and it's not fair to JuJu Watkins. And like I said, I'm not putting her down as a player, as a person, or anything like that, or as a draw or anything like that. She's just not in the same league as a draw to Caitlin Clark. And that's why she's not as exciting. That's why she can't move the needle like Caitlin Clark. It's not because for other factors that they made up. That's really all this amounts to.
Right.
And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, what are you waiting for? Make Rob happy. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. And join us for our live show. We'll discuss this in NBA and NFL and college football. And it's every Monday, 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.